What if I told you my favorite camera right now is not a Leica, not a Fujifilm, but a Sony? And realistically, I don't think anyone should be buying it. This is the Sony RX107, and it's become my favorite camera lately. Not because it's the sharpest or the newest, but simply because it's fun. But it's also ridiculously priced for what it is, making it a camera that's so niche. It's no wonder why Sony hasn't updated it in over 5 years. There aren't a ton of cameras out there that can do what this camera does at this size. The Canon G7X Mark III is probably the closest, but it does lack a few key features that the Sony has. The point of this video isn't this camera in particular, but something that I think is much more important. A PSA to all camera manufacturers. Cameras should be cool, and they should be fun. And I think camera brands need to get back to doing that. I've always felt like carrying less with you changes the way that you shoot. It changes the way you observe too, in my opinion. When I've got a bigger camera on me, I tend to overthink things. I feel like I draw more attention to myself, and because of that I feel less able to get the photos that I actually want to take. I'm way more comfortable and confident when my camera is small and light. I feel like I blend in and I move more naturally, and I think that ends up showing in the photos that I take. Being a small, compact camera is nothing other cameras don't have, but it's the foundation of what makes the Sony RX107 such a cool camera in my opinion, because it can do all these other things, and it's incredibly small and compact. Because being able to carry a camera freely without it being a burden to your process or to how you think makes it way more fun to use. Okay, so what actually makes this camera so cool, Faisal? And yes, cool is subjective. We all have different definitions of what could be considered cool, but I think these are some pretty cool features. A pop-up rangefinder style EVF. That's cool. A lot of small point-and-shoot cameras just have a LCD screen. And it also functions as the camera's on and off switch. I mean, that's kind of cool. Secondly, a 28 to 200 millimeter zoom lens. That's more crazy than cool, if I'm being honest. But it's probably the most fun thing about this camera.
200 millimeters. I can get those people up there painting.
If you know me, I love to use longer focal lengths in street photography. I've never owned a 200mm lens, let alone even borrowed or used one, and I didn't know how much I would love using that long of a focal length until this camera. When you think of a 200mm lens, you're probably thinking of some missile-sized lens. And yeah, you'd be right. It's why I don't own any 200mm lenses. Most people don't. That massive size of a lens like that completely defeats the whole purpose of what I said earlier, but not on the RX107. Yeah, the image quality at 200mm is kind of ass, but it's good enough for me, especially for the more abstract photographs that I tend to take. So I actually have this, it's an adapter ring. I have an ND on it right now.
For video or for photos?
For both. It's on an adhesive, so I can't like take it off, so it's kind of permanent. I actually think it makes the camera look more balanced.
A little bit, yeah.
It'd be more of a point. And you need to have...
You need some girth at the end.
Yeah, you need something. This camera also actually works decently as a video camera, believe it or not. So not only does this camera have a tilt-up screen, the screen tilts all the way up, where you can actually use this camera to film yourself in a pinch. I'm actually considering using this camera for some of my filmmaking on this channel, just because this camera is so small. I feel like I don't have to pack as much with me. It just makes sense to have this camera in my bag all the time for when I want that kind of footage. Now, this camera isn't without its somewhat uncool things. The main thing being the price. It's freaking expensive. There are hundreds of practically better cameras out there that you can get for that money. But I don't think that's the point of this camera. That being said, that makes this camera incredibly niche. It doesn't make much sense for just anyone to get this. But if you are an enthusiast and money's no issue to you, or you're like me and you can justify it as a business write-off, then by all means. This is probably the most interesting and most fun camera I've owned. But I still don't think it should be as expensive as it is. That said, I think it leaves a great opportunity for camera brands out there to get into this niche market of camera and make that camera that's worth the price. If there's any takeaway from this video, it's to find a camera that is fun. The one that you have no issues bringing with you everywhere. It makes you want to shoot for no reason. Whether it's a compact digital camera or a film point and shoot, or even your phone, it doesn't really matter. If it makes you pick it up and go outside, then that's the right camera for you. I've always believed that how you present your work is just as important as the work itself. Squarespace gives you everything you need to turn your ideas into a beautiful website, whether it's sharing your art, setting up an online store, or even starting a blog about your creative journey. They make it incredibly simple with their easy-to-use templates and intuitive customization tools. Whether you're a photographer, a writer, or someone just starting to share their voice, Squarespace makes it feel real. So if you're feeling inspired to start something new, head over to squarespace.com/Faisal to start a free trial. And you can use the code Faisal to get 10% off your first purchase. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.